Lear arrives to find his pride cornered by hyenas. Without hesitation, he charges, silent, fierce, unstoppable. The hyenas scatter, shocked by his courage. Lear's presence alone is enough to protect his family. His lionesses and cubs rush to him, safe and grateful. In their embrace, Lear feels a new strength rising. He opens his mouth, not for dominance, but for love. A deep, resonant purr emerges, soft, powerful, healing. This new roar spreads across the savannah, a sound of reassurance. Lear's true power is revealed: courage, love, and heart. The savannah is peaceful once more, ruled by a wise king. Lear's voice, found within, echoes forever. Inside the cave, silence is overwhelming. Lear tries to roar. Nothing but emptiness answers. Despair threatens to consume him. Then, a distant cry pierces the silence. His cubs are in danger. Instinct takes over. Lear bolts from the cave, forgetting his lost roar. He races across the savannah, driven by love, not pride. The journey back is a blur of determination. He needs no roar. His heart leads the way. The cries of his cubs grow louder, fueling his resolve. Lear's true strength is unleashed, silent but unstoppable. He is no longer a broken king, but a father and protector. The real test was never in the cave, but in answering his family's call. Lear runs, heart pounding, ready to face whatever awaits. The journey is harsh, scorching plains, thorny thickets, rocky gorges. Lear, once mighty, now feels small and exposed. Makini leads, sharing lessons from the smallest creature's strength. He shows isn't always loud. As they near the mountains, the air cools and the land grows wild. Lear's heart battles hope and fear. He misses his pride, his voice, his old self. At the cave's entrance, Lear hesitates, daunted by the darkness. Makini reassures him. The cave only echoes what's inside you. Lear breathes deep, summoning courage. He steps into the darkness, ready to face himself. The true test awaits. Within, in Lear's darkest hour, Makini, the wise monkey, visits. He offers Lear a marula fruit and gentle wisdom. A roar is only air, great king. Your true strength comes from your heart. Makini reminds Lear that courage and wisdom, not sound, make a king. He speaks of the echoing caves, a place of reflection, not magic. The caves echo your heart. Only you can reclaim your roar. Hope flickers in Lear's chest. Inspired, Lear decides to seek the caves, with Makini as his guide. He will not let silence define him. Together, they leave Pride Rock, venturing into the unknown. The journey for Lear's true strength begins. The quest is set in motion. One morning, the savannah waits, but Lear's roar never comes. On Pride Rock, Lear tries to summon his thunder, but only a faint whisper escapes. Silence spreads, unsettling the herds and emboldening the hyenas. The land feels exposed, the animals anxious. Lear's absence is felt everywhere. His power seems to vanish with his voice. Hyenas mock, vultures circle, and fear replaces harmony. Lear retreats, weighed down by loss and shame. His mane dulls, his spirit falters, the kingdom fractures, the mighty king now a shadow. The savannah's protector is silent, and chaos creeps in. Lear feels powerless, his identity slipping away. The world he once ruled now teeters on the edge. All await the return of the king's roar. The African savannah awakens, bathed in golden sunlight. Acacia trees stand tall, grass sways, and every creature plays a part in this ancient land. In the heart of it all is Lear, a magnificent lion, respected by all. His mane glows like a crown. His presence commands both awe and trust. Lear is more than a ruler. He's a guardian, a symbol of balance and peace. But it's his legendary roar that truly defines him. When Lear roars, the plains tremble. It's a sound of protection, warning, and reassurance. Each morning, he climbs Pride Rock and lets his mighty call echo across the land. Elephants salute, giraffes pause, even hyenas fall silent. Lear's roar is the heartbeat of the savannah, a promise of stability. The animals thrive under his watchful eye. This is the kingdom of Lear, where harmony reigns, so long as the king's voice endures.
In the small, quiet town of Maple Creek, there lived a golden retriever named Barnaby. He was not just any dog, Barnaby had a coat the color of summer sunshine and a heart twice as warm. Every morning, he would wake up with a happy wiggle. His tail would thump against the wooden floor, a steady drumbeat announcing the start of a new day. He loved everything about his life. He loved the smell of morning dew on the grass. He loved the feel of his favorite squeaky toy, a well-chewed rubber squirrel. Most of all, he loved the people in his town. Barnaby's days were filled with simple joys that he cherished with all his might. His paws barely touching the ground as he leaped through the clovers. He would nap in sunbeams that streamed through the living room window, his golden fur glowing like a halo. He knew the sound of his family's car from blocks away, and he would wait by the door, tail wagging in a wide, hopeful arc. His happiness was a tangible thing, a bright light that seemed to follow him wherever he went, making the world around him feel a little bit brighter too. His favorite part of the day, however, was always mid-morning. This was a special time, a sacred ritual that Barnaby would never miss for anything. It was more exciting than chasing squirrels, and even better than finding a forgotten treat under the sofa. Around 10 o'clock, a familiar rumbling sound would echo down the street. It was a low, grumbling noise that grew louder and louder. Barnaby's ears would perk up instantly. His head would tilt. A low, excited whine would escape his throat. He would abandon whatever he was doing and race to the front window, his paws skittering on the hardwood floors in his haste. The rumbling sound was the signal. It was the announcement he waited for all morning long. It meant his best friend was coming, not his dog friends from the park, or even his loving human family inside the house. This was a different kind of friend, one who arrived on schedule every single day, rain or shine. The sound belonged to the old clattering mail truck, and inside that truck was the mailman, Mr. Giles. For Barnaby, the arrival of the mail truck was the most important event of the day, a moment of pure, unadulterated joy that set his golden heart soaring high. Mr. Giles was the town's mailman, a kind man with a gentle smile pockets that always seemed to hold a special treat. He had been delivering mail in Maple Creek for as long as anyone could remember. He knew every person on his route, every winding lane, every dog that might greet him with a bark or a wagging tail. But his friendship with Barnaby was unique. It wasn't just about a quick pat on the head or a biscuit tossed from the steps. Theirs was a real connection, a bond built on daily greetings and a mutual, quiet understanding that passed between man and dog. Every day, as Mr. Giles's truck pulled up to the curb, Barnaby would be waiting. Once Mr. Giles was out of his truck and walking up the path, Barnaby would let out a single, happy woof. Mr. Giles would chuckle, eyes crinkling. He would reach the porch, hand over the letters, crouch down, and ruffle Barnaby's ears. Their little ritual was a comforting part of the neighborhood's rhythm. Neighbors would smile watching them. "There go Barnaby and his mailman," they'd say. Mr. Giles would talk to Barnaby about his morning, about the heavy packages, about the weather. Barnaby, in turn, would listen intently, his brown eyes fixed, occasionally nudging the mailman's hand with his wet nose as if to say, "I understand. I'm here for you." This friendship was a beacon of consistency. For Barnaby, it was the morning highlight. For Mr. Giles, it was a bright spot in a tiring day. No matter how heavy the bag or aching the feet, Barnaby's happy face made it easier. Their bond was simple, pure, and deeply comforting. A silent promise they'd be there for each other every day. Lately, however, something had changed. Barnaby, with his keen canine senses, was the first to notice it. The change was small at first, almost invisible. It started with the sound of the mail truck. The familiar rumble, a new, sadder cough, a weary clatter. Then Barnaby noticed the change in Mr. Giles himself. The mailman's steps up the walkway were slower, heavier, his shoulders, which were usually straight, proud. Now they seemed to slump a little, as if he were carrying something much heavier than his bag of letters and packages. The friendly smile that always lit up Mr. Giles's face was still there, but it didn't quite reach his eyes anymore. His eyes looked tired, clouded with a worry that Barnaby couldn't understand, but could definitely feel. The daily ritual continued, but the joy felt muted. Mr. Giles still knelt to pat Barnaby, but his touch felt distracted, his fingers less energetic as they ruffled Barnaby's fur. He would sigh, a deep, weary sound that seemed to come from the bottom of his boots. Barnaby would lick his hand, trying to offer comfort. But the shadow in the mailman's eyes remained. Barnaby would watch from the window long after Mr. Giles had left his porch. He would see the mailman struggle to close the creaky door of his old truck. He would watch him sit in the driver's seat for a moment, rubbing his temples, before driving slowly to the next house. The dog's happy morning mood was replaced with a furrowed brow and a quiet sense of concern. His tail, usually a flurry of motion, would hang low. He knew something was wrong with his friend. The cheerful rhythm of their daily greeting had been disrupted by a silent, sad note. The dog didn't have the words to ask what was wrong. He couldn't inquire about the tired truck or the sad look in his friend's eyes. All he knew was that the sunshine of their friendship had a cloud passing over it. The man who brought joy and treats to his doorstep now seemed to be carrying a heavy burden, and Barnaby's loyal heart ached to see it. He sat by the window, a silent, furry sentinel determined to understand what was troubling his dear friend, Mr. Giles. The happy-go-lucky dog felt a new feeling stirring inside him, a mission. The next day, Barnaby was on high alert. His usual morning excitement was replaced by a quiet, watchful focus. He didn't chase the sunbeams dancing on the floor. He didn't nudge his squeaky squirrel with his nose. Instead, he took up his post by the front window long before the mail truck was due. The world outside looked bright and cheerful. Birds sang in the trees. Neighbors tended to their gardens. But Barnaby's attention was fixed solely on the empty street. He was waiting for Mr. Giles, not just for a friendly pat. He was waiting for clues. He needed to understand the source of the sadness that clung to his friend like a heavy coat. The familiar rumble finally echoed down the block. It sounded even more pained than before. A loud clanking noise rang out, then a wheezing, struggling sound. Barnaby's ears flattened against his head. This was not the happy sound he loved. This was the sound of something broken. The truck sputtered to a stop in front of the house, let out a final shaky groan, then fell silent. Mr. Giles paused, head resting on the steering wheel for a second, a small gesture of defeat. Barnaby watched it all from his window. As Mr. Giles climbed out, Barnaby saw the problem up close. The mail truck, once cherry red, now faded and streaked with rust. A long scratch ran down one side. One headlight was cracked. Mr. Giles gave the front tire a gentle kick. A puff of dust rose. He shook his head slowly, frustration plain on his face. Barnaby whined softly behind the glass. He was beginning to connect the dots. The sad truck, the sad mailman, the same story. Mr. Giles gathered the mail slowly, every movement deliberate. He started up the path, limping slightly. The mailbag pulled him down. The cheerful jingle of keys was gone. The mailman was overwhelmed. The truck was failing. The mail was heavy. His friend carried the weight on slumped shoulders. The dog's heart filled with deep canine empathy. He had to do more than just watch from the window.
Winston, a whirlwind of fur and boundless energy, pounced on his hot dog, holding it tight with unwavering enthusiasm. It was more than just a toy. It was a cherished companion, a source of endless amusement. He gave it a bite, squeak, the happiest sound in the world. It was a sound that filled the room with joy, a symphony of simple pleasures that only a dog and his toy could create. Lily smiled, scratching his favorite spot, right behind his ears. It was a gesture of affection, a silent language of love spoken between a girl and her dog. Winston leaned into her hand, content, his tail giving a gentle thump against the floor. In that moment, all was right in his world. He had faced loss and worry, moments of uncertainty that had tested his spirit, but never gave up. His heart, though small, was filled with an unyielding resilience. His loyalty and determination, two qualities that shone brighter than any star, led him on an incredible adventure, a journey filled with twists, turns, and the unwavering hope of finding what was lost. He was a hero, not in the grand, sweeping sense, but a hero nonetheless. In his own small world, a world where squeaky toys held immense value and loyalty was the greatest virtue. Winston paraded his squeaky hot dog, a symbol of his triumph and the joy he found in the simplest things. Back home, tail high, a flag of happiness waving in the gentle breeze, The sun felt warmer, its golden rays bathing the world in a comforting glow, the grass greener, a vibrant carpet beneath his paws, welcoming him back to the familiar comfort of home. Everything was right again, the world restored to its perfect balance. That afternoon, a tranquil interlude in his adventurous life, Winston never let the hot dog out of his sight, guarding it with a vigilance that spoke volumes about their special bond. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, he lay by the oak tree, a silent sentinel watching over his domain. Toy beside him, dreaming happy dreams of squeaks and adventures yet to come. The best adventures end, not with a bang, but with a squeak and a friend found again, a quiet affirmation of the bonds that truly matter. There it was, a beacon of red amidst the green, Winston's squeaky hot dog, wedged between two branches, a prisoner of the towering tree. Winston yipped and jumped, his paws reaching for the sky, trying to reach it with all his might, but it was too high, far beyond his eager grasp. Lily laughed with relief, a sound as bright and cheerful as the summer sun. "You found it?" "Winston," she exclaimed, her voice filled with joy and admiration. She hugged him, a warm embrace that conveyed her gratitude and affection, then looked for a way to get the toy down, her mind already racing with possibilities. Remembering the windy day before, when the world seemed to be swept up in a playful dance of leaves and gusts, she realized the toy must have blown over the fence, carried away by an invisible hand, and landed in the tree, finding an unlikely perch among the branches. Lily spotted Mr. Henderson's garden rake leaning against the fence like a forgotten soldier and borrowed it, knowing it was the perfect tool for the job. Carefully, with the precision of a seasoned surgeon, she nudged the branch. The hot dog tumbled down, a slow motion descent that held everyone's breath, landing softly on the grass, as if cushioned by a bed of green. Winston pounced, a blur of fur and excitement, grabbing his friend with a joyful bark, a sound that echoed through the yard, celebrating their reunion. The mystery was solved, the puzzle pieces finally fitting together. Winston's determination had paid off, his unwavering spirit leading him to success. He had followed his nose and his heart, trusting his instincts and the bond he shared with his beloved toy. The adventure was over, the quest fulfilled. The squeaky hot dog was home, safe and sound. Winston was whole again, his world complete. The neighbor's yard was full of distractions, a tempting array of sights and smells, but Winston stayed focused, his mind set on the task at hand. The scent grew stronger, a tantalizing whisper guiding him forward as he followed it past hedges, their leafy walls creating a maze of green, and toward a small maple tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. Lily watched, her heart swelling with pride, proud of his determination, his unwavering commitment to finding what he had lost. Winston circled the tree, a dance of anticipation. The smell was powerful now, a beacon guiding him closer to his goal. He sniffed the air, his nose twitching with excitement. The scent was coming from above, a subtle clue that pointed towards the sky. He looked up, puzzled, his brow furrowed in canine concentration. Lily joined him, her presence a source of comfort and support, shielding her eyes from the sun, trying to decipher the mystery that lay hidden among the leaves. Winston stared at a spot in the branches, his gaze unwavering, tail frozen mid-wag, a sign of intense focus and anticipation. Lily squinted, straining her eyes to see what Winston saw, following his gaze, trusting his keen senses to guide her. There, nestled among the leaves, hidden from plain sight, was a flash of color, a vibrant splash of red against the green. The missing hot dog, the object of their quest. The mystery was about to be solved, the truth finally within reach. Winston's heart raced with excitement, his tail beginning to wag furiously. The end of the search was in sight, the promise of reunion drawing near.